What if everything you think you know about problems is backwards? What if you don't have problems, but problems have you? Ibn Arabi, the greatest mystic of medieval Islam, discovered something that completely inverts our understanding of difficulty and suffering. He realized that what we call problems are actually divine teachers sent specifically to awaken parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Here's the mind-bending part. Once you understand this truth, your problems don't just get easier to solve. They transform into doorways to wisdom. You could never access them any other way. To understand this revolutionary perspective, we need to go back to 12th century Spain, where a young scholar named Ibn Arabi was beginning his spiritual journey. Born in 1165 in what is now southeastern Spain, Ibn Arabi grew up during a time of incredible intellectual and spiritual ferment. This was the golden age of Islamic civilization in the West, where scholars, mystics, and philosophers were pushing the boundaries of human understanding. But Ibn Arabi's path to wisdom wasn't smooth. As a young man, he faced what seemed like insurmountable obstacles. His family struggled financially. His early teachers rejected some of his ideas. He experienced a profound spiritual crisis that left him questioning everything he thought he knew about reality. By conventional standards, Ibn Arabi's early life was filled with problems. But then something extraordinary happened. Instead of seeing these difficulties as obstacles to overcome, Ibn Arabi began to perceive them as teachers. He noticed that every major challenge in his life led to a breakthrough in understanding. Every crisis opened a door to wisdom that had previously been closed. Every problem revealed a strength or insight he never knew he possessed. This led Ibn Arabi to one of the most profound realizations in the history of human thought. He understood that problems don't happen randomly. They're not punishments, accidents, or unfortunate circumstances that we have to endure. Instead, problems are precise spiritual instruments designed by divine intelligence to activate dormant potentials within our consciousness. In his masterwork, The Mechanical Revelations, Ibn Arabi explains this concept through what he calls the doctrine of divine names. According to him, ultimate reality expresses itself through countless divine qualities: mercy, wisdom, power, beauty, justice. These are not just abstract concepts, but living forces that shape every moment of existence. Ibn Arabi taught that each person embodies a unique combination of these divine qualities. But most of these qualities remain dormant throughout our lives because we never encounter the circumstances that would activate them. We have potentials for courage that we never discover because we never face real danger. We have capacities for compassion that remain hidden because we never encounter genuine suffering. We have wells of wisdom that stay untapped because we never face situations that demand deep understanding. This is where problems come in. According to Ibn Arabi, what we call problems are actually divine qualities manifesting in ways that seem challenging or uncomfortable, but their real purpose is not to harm us. Their purpose is to call forth corresponding qualities within us that would otherwise remain dormant. Think about it differently. When you face a situation that requires patience, it isn't randomly testing you. It is specifically designed to awaken and strengthen the divine quality of patience within your own being. When you encounter something that demands courage, that challenge calls forth the latent courage that already exists within you but has never been activated. When you face a situation that requires great patience, it is not randomly testing you. That situation is designed to awaken and strengthen the patience within you. Similarly, when you encounter something that demands courage, that challenge calls forth the courage that already exists inside you but has never been activated. Ibn Arabi called this process divine education through opposition. He observed that many qualities awaken only through their opposites. Patience emerges through impatience. Courage develops through fear. Wisdom grows through confusion. And peace deepens through conflict. What makes Ibn Arabi's insight so revolutionary is that this is not just a way of thinking about problems. It is how reality actually works. From his perspective, there are no random events, no meaningless suffering, and no arbitrary difficulties. Everything happens as part of an intelligent design aimed at developing human potential. This does not mean Ibn Arabi ignored suffering. He experienced it fully: persecution for his ideas, exile from his homeland, and the loss of beloved teachers and friends. Yet he understood that even the most painful experiences serve a deeper purpose. He often used the metaphor of a mirror. Divine qualities exist within every human being, like a perfect mirror covered with dust and tarnish. Problems are the polishing cloth that restores the mirror to its clarity. The process may be uncomfortable or even painful, but without it, the mirror would never reflect its true nature. Ibn Arabi went even further. He realized that the very idea of having problems comes from a misunderstanding of identity. Most people think of themselves as separate individuals facing external challenges, but he taught that this separation is an illusion. Our true self is a unique expression of the same reality that creates our challenges. We are deeply connected to the difficulties we face. This is why he said, "Problems do not belong to us. We belong to them." Understanding this transforms our relationship with difficulty. Instead of feeling victimized, we begin to feel honored. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we ask, "What is this teaching me?" Problems are no longer obstacles to avoid. They become collaborators in our growth. Ibn Arabi explained that every human being has a unique spiritual destiny, a combination of qualities meant to be developed. This destiny can only be realized through the challenges that awaken those potentials. No two people face identical problems. Each challenge is precisely calibrated to develop the qualities within that individual. This understanding changes how we approach life. Instead of comparing ourselves to others or wishing for different challenges, we learn to appreciate the design behind our difficulties. Problems are not hindrances. They are the very means of spiritual development. However, this shift in perspective does not happen automatically. It requires spiritual vision, seeing with the heart rather than the head. The mind sees only surface appearances, perceiving problems as intrusions. The heart perceives the deeper wisdom behind every circumstance. Developing this vision is essential for growth. It involves trust, patience, and humility. recognizing that our understanding may be limited. Ibn Arabi taught that this process continues throughout life. Just when we think we have learned enough, new challenges arise to awaken deeper levels of potential. Even when certain qualities are developed, new situations appear to refine and strengthen them. Learning in the school of divine education never ends. Perhaps most beautifully, Ibn Arabi showed that this process benefits not just individuals but the whole human community. When our problems awaken divine qualities within us, we contribute to the collective wisdom and compassion of humanity. Every act of patience, courage, and wisdom adds to the greater good. He emphasized that we should not try to eliminate all problems. Problems are not mistakes. They are essential features of reality. The goal is not to escape from challenges, but to understand them, learn from them, and allow them to fulfill their purpose. While we should act wisely to improve circumstances, the internal transformation remains the most important outcome that the problem is designed to produce. For example, if you're facing financial difficulties, the external solution might involve finding new sources of income or reducing expenses. But the deeper purpose of the challenge might be to activate qualities like resourcefulness, gratitude for what you have, or trust in divine providence. The external solution is important, but it's the internal development that has lasting value. Ibn Arabi also understood that this perspective helps us respond to problems with much greater effectiveness. When you're fighting against a problem, seeing it as an enemy to be defeated, you're actually working against the very intelligence that created the situation for your benefit. But when you align yourself with the deeper purpose of the challenge, you gain access to wisdom and resources that weren't available when you were in opposition mode. This is why Ibn Arabi often spoke about the importance of surrender. But he didn't mean passive resignation. He meant intelligent cooperation with the forces that are working for your highest development. When you understand that your problems are actually divine teachers, you can surrender to their teaching while still taking appropriate action to address them. The practical implications of this understanding are enormous. It means that every difficulty you face is actually an opportunity to discover capabilities you never knew you had. Every crisis is a chance to develop qualities that will serve you for the rest of your life. Every problem is a doorway to wisdom that can only be opened from the inside. Most importantly, Ibn Arabi's teaching offers a completely different relationship with uncertainty and change. Instead of fearing what challenges might come next, you can trust that whatever arises will be perfectly designed to support your continued growth. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of life, you can appreciate the intelligence that orchestrates every detail for your benefit. This doesn't mean that life becomes easy or that problems stop feeling difficult. But it does mean that you stop feeling victimized by circumstances. You begin to feel supported by them even when that support comes in uncomfortable forms. You start to recognize that you are not alone in your struggles. You are being guided, taught, and developed by a wisdom far greater than your own God. As Ibn Arabi discovered 8 centuries ago, when you truly understand that problems don't belong to you, but you belong to them, everything changes. You stop trying to escape from your difficulties and start learning to dance with them. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as a student in the greatest school ever created. You stop asking why problems happen and start asking what they're trying to teach you. And in that shift from resistance to recognition, from opposition to collaboration, you discover that your problems weren't your problems at all. They were always your teachers, your guides, your most devoted servants in the grand project of becoming who you were always meant to be.